let's keep going.
Genuinely, never touch a single video game ever in the history of ever. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna remember your names, and I'm gonna fucking look for you in every single game that I play nowadays. Every single bitch that has praised and fucking gloated about being a fucking writer for this game. Let him cook on Twitter. Count your fucking days. You're not gonna be writing anything but a fan fiction like the rest of us fucking delusional bitches until the day you die. Because let me tell you something. If I find you in another video game, I'm gonna sound the fucking alarm. Everyone is gonna know that you're working on that game, and I'm gonna do my hardest for you to never have work in the industry for the rest of your fucking life. You guys don't fucking deserve it. You don't deserve it. You don't. You don't deserve it. You don't. Kill yourselves. Generally.
It's the accent. It makes me laugh, man. I'm sorry. I fucking absolutely scorched earth, bro. Holy shit. All right. So number one, obviously, New Day went extremely scorched earth. That's obvious. Okay, number one. Now, number two, this is how I know somebody like Unifade Walker is not a fucking gamer, right? This is how I know they're not a gamer, at least not recently anyway, when it became beneficial to them and whatever kind of grift that they're trying to have right now. But Unifade Walker is not a gamer because what New Day just did, every gamer has done to some extent, especially when alcohol is involved, which I believe there was. Not that that's an excuse, because trust me, it's not. But she just went on an absolute fucking scorched earth gamer rant where she has said the same shit that everybody has said for the longest time for decades, right? Now, what they're trying to say is, oh, well, that's a threat. That's a threat. Excuse me. Can you explain and give me the definition of what a threat is? Because last I checked, a threat is the actual threat of bodily harm, right? The threat of bodily harm from one person to another. I don't understand how someone telling you to kill yourself is a threat to you, because unless you fully plan to kill yourself, which again, I'm not even going to bother trying to pun that, then how exactly is this a threat? It's not a threat. There is no threat here. By the actual definition of a word, there's no threat here. You can't threaten someone by telling them to off themselves. That could be terrible language. That could be whatever. But at the end of the day, it's not a fucking threat. A lawyer would have a field day with you if you try to make it seem like it was an actual threat. So again, you're not, unless you're actually going to do it to yourself. And even then, that's not up to her to decide. That's up to you to decide. So it's not a threat.
Become another statistic. I don't care.
That's why she got her ban. It had nothing to do with me.
You seem pretty confident in saying that. How do you know? How did you know this was it? Out of all the clips, I want you guys to understand something. Out of all the clips, okay, New Day has done hours upon hours upon hours of streams, multiple streams, and you just magically found this 30-second clip from a 6-hour stream on October 31st, the day of release. That's just the one that you guys went with? Interesting.
Me. I didn't have to do anything. That is a blatant violation of terms and services, not only for using the game on their app, but on Twitch as well. Like, it's a real miracle.
Now, here comes the best part. So I want you to understand why I believe that Unifade Walker had had some influence into what happened, whether they actually did it themselves or whether they had influence in it. This is why I believe it, what they're about to say right now, because they openly admit, and I have screenshots we're going to go over right now, but they openly admit that they are trying to do an actual targeted campaign against New Day to take her down from Twitch, YouTube, etc. And this is well after she's tried to do it to me too and failed miserably. YouTube didn't even bother responding to Unifade Walker the multiple times that they tagged them on Twitter. Didn't even bother responding. But let's continue.
Cool that she hasn't been banned on Twitch for that, because that is pretty sure a violation of Twitch's terms of services. This video is also on her YouTube channel. It's censored, like all of the swear words and the other words are like bleeped out and stuff. But I'm pretty sure that that's also a violation of terms and services on YouTube as well. I could be wrong. I don't know if YouTube cares.
You're very wrong. You're immensely wrong. That's the hilarious thing. You are absolutely wrong. You're 100% wrong. See, this is why I believe that you are the one who did this, because you are the only one that's bringing up TOS right now in the conversation. You're going back and forth having a bitch fight with another woman, and you're over here talking about TOS, 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 YouTube, Twitch, TOS, TOS, Twitter, X, TOS. You're the only one. You're the only one doing this. So yeah, I'm going to safely say, within my opinion, that you are the one who was responsible to some extent, whether directly or indirectly. You were definitely responsible.
But that's why she got banned. And none of these larger content creators are reporting on this. They're just dogpiling me.
Chat, what are we doing right now? Like the stream if you know what we're doing right now. What are we doing? We are reporting on this.
So I just wanted to put it out into the world that you can try and control the narrative around me all you want. But the truth of the matter is that she violated terms of services by threatening the devs of EA, whether you agree with what she said.
Again, explain how she threatened them. It's amazing how these people love throwing out buzzwords, but whenever we actually have a conversation, they never want to do it. They never want to do it because it's like, bro, how did she threaten him? How is telling someone to off themselves a threat to them? Like, how? How is that a threat, my guy? How? Is it aggressive language? Sure. I'll give you that. It's aggressive language. But how is it a threat? Like, can we be real here? Can we be real? It's not a threat in the slightest. You want to know how I know it's not a threat? Here's how I know it's not a threat. Okay, you ready for this? If there was an actual threat, right? If there was an actual threat against the lives of people on EA, you mean to tell me that EA is fine with taking that person's money after 7 days of a spanking? So if Nude threatened the lives of people over at EA, which she didn't, but if she did, then you mean to tell me that 7 days is all it's worth for EA, and after that, they're willing to take the money from a potential murderer? Is that what you're trying to say? Or from someone who's threatening the lives of people over at EA? No, of course not. Because it's not a fucking threat. All they did was give her a slap on the wrist because bitches like you were complaining about it. And then after 7 days, guess what? They're going to keep taking her money if she's still subscribed. They're perfectly fine with it because they know it's not a threat. They know. They know it's not a threat. And they don't take you seriously. They're just doing it so you would shut the fuck up and start sending them God knows how many emails with how many clips and whatnot.
Dead or not, whether you hate the game or not, whether you hate trans people or not, it doesn't fucking matter. That is a blatant violation of terms and services. I had nothing to do with it. She did it herself. She's reaping the consequences of her own fucking actions. And instead of being a big fucking girl about it.
Like you should be, right? Like, how many opportunities did you have to be a big old boy? Right? Big old boy. You had all the opportunities in the world to be a big old boy, but instead you just stay acting like a bitch. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I really don't have any hope for you in the future as a man.
And saying, oops, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And sitting out her fucking suspension for 7 whole fucking days. Nah, she's gone to the internet and said, it must be Eddie. It must be Eddie. Eddie must have done it. It
Sounds
must
like
be something that Eddie's done. Eddie must have ran to the fucking head of EA and fucking got me banned, because what else could it possibly be? I mean,
considering that you tweet about her all the time, like literally all the time, I feel like that would be my first guess too, right? I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy to say, oh, gee, I wonder who got me banned. Could it be the one who's tweeting about me nonstop? I don't think that's crazy to say, right?
It's probably that. It's probably you threatening the devs and telling.
How did she? Man, I swear, I wish I could just have a conversation. I really wish I could just have a conversation with this creature and ask, like, how is it a threat exactly to tell someone to off themselves? How is that a threat against one's physical, like, body and everything? Like, how is that a threat? That is not a threat by definition. That is aggressive language, sure, but it's not a threat. You're absolutely full of shit. You don't know what a threat actually is. Oh, I'm sorry. You do know what a threat is because you quote tweeted threats made against my life, like actual threats made against my life on Twitter, which is hilarious, by the way.
Telling them to off themselves. It's probably that, though. So, yeah. To all the people who are reporting on this, why aren't you talking about this? Why?
Chat, again, what are we doing? God, it's like I have to repeat myself. And I also have a video coming out tomorrow about this. So... Again, I want to make it very clear. Why did we not report on it? Because we didn't have this clip. But ironically, you did.